today to talk life at Dunamis.
Hello. Welcome to Today at Dunamis. We have been on a roll, Shaun.
Woohoo!
I don't know what our current what we've been up to. How many weeks we've been in a row now? Maybe 5.
The last time
Yes.
we beat this was during COVID.
Well, we only got the 4 episodes
Did we?
during COVID with Tonight at Dunamis. We only got the 4 episodes.
Oh.
So
Then Melissa let us down.
yeah, then Melissa was.
So we had to redo it and scrap Melissa.
And a combination of a bunch of let's say unique people with unique information or takes on the end times, and then you had to do a very fun series on the end times and eschatology.
Yes.
So
I think if I taught that again, I've got better information again and more refined.
oh yeah, are you still a mid?
Preterist, partial.
Yeah,
Not
still
fully.
partial. Okay.
I'm partial,
Yep.
not full.
Yep.
Okay. So I still believe in the imminent return of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Whereas a full preterist believes it's already happened.
It's already happened,
in Islam. But I do believe that what was prophesied in Matthew is being fulfilled
Yes.
in the Gospels. I do believe what was prophesied in Daniel is fulfilled.
Yes.
And I do believe that nearly all of the Revelation part is fulfilled, except I believe in the imminent return of Christ.
Yes.
And so I still believe in the return of Christ.
Oh, very good. Me too.
And if you don't agree with me, don't worry. When we get called up, we'll all be there together.
Exactly.
Except for the full preterists. They'll be left behind.
Well, Shaun, we had a very interesting episode last week. It was our least controversial. It was the most chillest. It was probably our most relaxed, laid-back episode we've done in a while, right?
That's because I am laid back.
Yeah.
We touched that wonderful subject of Christians and guns.
And guns.
And what is it that is so explosive?
I know, right? I don't know either.
I don't know. So we had quite a few, especially on YouTube.
On YouTube, we had a lot of comments, which the clickbaiting worked. So
yeah, and I think everybody had their opinion until I shared the scripture in Luke 22, then it sort of eased up. But that's a taste of a series that I'm going to be doing in a few weeks.
Yes. Ooh,
and
awesome.
It's called Fight Like Jesus.
Fight Like Jesus.
The Lamb versus the Hammer. But I'll share more about that another day in that series.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's good. I mean, there was one interesting question.
Yes.
Which is quite good. This is on our Facebook page.
Yes.
And don't you love it when you turn to here it is here by Scott Wade, and he says, "Great talk, thanks. I have a couple of questions. I'll try to get to see you on Sunday."
Yes.
I didn't see him on Sunday.
Sunday.
Okay. I also think it's important to say, and please correct me if I'm wrong, we're not the sort of people that corrects people, are we?
No, of course not.
No,
We
of
never
course not.
correct.
Yeah. That this is focused on Christians who own or use firearms with the intent of hurting people. Using and owning firearms for sport use only is another story. Well, I never attacked people for hunting
or
for
anything
sport.
like
And
that, yeah.
I had shared online that I've gone out in America on more than one occasion pheasant hunting.
Pheasant hunting, yeah.
Now, just for your information, it was on an actual farm, private property.
private
Otherwise,
property,
it'd be against the law to go off the property.
Yeah.
And I've also taken my son out shooting. Okay, so which is shotguns.
Yeah.
12 gauge shotguns. I have friends who would shoot deer who invited me on the hunt, but I said I can't do it because
Bambi.
Well, I think somebody mentioned Disney on our thing there because Bambi's big brown eyes and those eyelashes just kill me. I can't shoot Bambi. Okay, I can't do it. Okay, so I'm sorry. And the only reason I couldn't shoot a pheasant because it's up in the air flying away, but if it was just standing there looking at me, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Good eating though, the pheasant. Okay. So that's the truth. Then I also shared how I went on a raccoon hunt, but nothing happened. It was freezing cold.
Yep. Even the dogs couldn't
so I'm
come
not
out.
saying that, Aaron. It's sports shooting and all those areas there. So, I mean, Jesus never says it's against the law to own a firearm. I mean, the disciples had two.
Two swords, yeah.
They had 2 swords.
Yep.
It's the use of them and how it's used. Because that's another debate saying it's not the weapon, it's the person. Which is true, but I still have a problem trying to comprehend the dependence we have on weapons.
Yes.
The enjoyment we have as Christians to talk about wanting to use them.
Yes.
And also the overextension of them.
Yes.
Now, hunting is one thing, but wanting to arm a semi-automatic or something else. And
Fully automatic?
well, yeah, but I'm talking more Australia.
Oh,
But
in Australia,
in America,
yeah.
you know, you can have all sorts of weapons.
Yes.
And there are cases where innocent well, no, not innocent, where people who have been licensed, I'm talking about America.
Yeah.
And since we brought in the rules here in Australia under John Howard because of that mass shooting.
Port Arthur?
Yeah, shooting in Tasmania.
Yes.
I've been down there since then. It's a
Yep.
very moving area.
Mhm.
That situation has decreased.
Yeah, big time.
Not that there isn't weapons around. There are.
Yeah, there's still weapons.
But it's minimized. But also, let me tell you this too. The biggest reduction that we had with the gun reduction is in suicides.
Yes.
Because it was suicide by weapon. In fact, if you chase up American statistics, the greatest number of deaths by guns is suicide.
Suicide, which,
It's huge.
huge.
And these are people who are fit, well, or maybe not, and have a licensed gun and they commit suicide.
Yep.
Then we have the terrible tragedy, and that's why I was a bit disturbed. And I know the person's a lovely person as well, but of saying, this is what I was like, tough little girl holding a gun.
Yeah, holding a gun, yep.
And there's been several occasions just of late in America where a young child, 5 or 6, took parents' gun to school and shot the teacher.
Yeah, yeah.
Another case where I think it was a sister shot the brother that died. These are children.
Children,
under the age of 6 or 7. It goes back again to safety and everything else.
Yes.
But this situation is, the risk is just paramount.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like hunting, belonging to, shooting
like
sports clubs.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I understand that and I get it.
Yep.
But it's the other weapons.
I need to have it at home to protect myself from the enemies.
Well, I understand the areas. I'd recommend the German Shepherd. Okay.
Yeah.
Or 2
man.
or 3. But then again, you can have the same thing right now. The news is right now is that dogs savaging and killing kids and people.
Yeah.
And that's been all over the news as well. So, is it the fault of the animal, the fault of the owner?
The owner, yeah.
It's both.
Yeah.
Savage dog. The training and what happens, there are people who have trained dogs just to be deadly.
Yeah.
And which is just horrendous.
Yes.
Now, I know my dog are ex-trained dogs, but I've never had the problem. They love my grandchildren and everything else. They're trained with kids and so it's areas. But I mean, there's always a difficult thing. So, Scott, just to answer your question, I'm talking about any persons who are using guns to what I'd call an unnecessary amount. All right. And of course, this message would relate more so to other countries that are close to us.
Yes.
And there are those countries that are totally against Australia's gun restrictions. Well, with respect, and I love America. You know I love America.
Yep.
I don't mind living there.
Yes.
But I feel safer here.
Yeah, big time.
And I don't mean disrespect. I read about Chicago. I mean, people don't. Texas has so many shootings and killings.
Yep.
New York. I mean, it's just horrendous.
Yeah.
But anyhow, they're all friends, and who am I to say? I'm me, and I can say.
Yes, very good. But speaking of America, we've had 2 stories, big stories happening in America.
Yes.
With first being President Biden has now officially announced, not unofficially going to announce eventually.
Announced.
This time he is officially announced he'll be running for the 2024 election as the Democrat primary
Now,
person.
you have to remember that prior to President Biden, Ronald Reagan was the oldest person who ever ran as president.
As president, yeah.
And when he finished his second term, he was 77.
Yeah, 77, yeah.
So President Biden is currently 80.
Yep.
In November is his birthday. He'll be 81.
Yeah.
When he runs, if he gets elected in the second term, that which will be in the November of 84, he'll be 82, which means by the time he finishes, he'll be 86.
86, wow.
I don't think it's just the age that is disturbing.
Yes.
I think, and mind you, if President Trump got in, okay, he'll be older than Reagan by the time he finishes.
Yeah.
Because he's about 78 or so. I forget exactly how old he is. But the fact of the matter is that I think that the concern is, and I'm not an American, I'm outside, but the concern is his obvious traits of what looks like dementia.
Yes.
And I say that with respect.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of good people who suffering with dementia. We love them dearly and want to help them. But when you have the power to push a button, do things. And I see the things of President Biden where he gets confused to get off the stage, or he's talking to the flag or the plant instead of the person, and where he goes off thing. I don't find it humorous. I find it sad because there are many a good person who's suffering in these areas because they want to do a cognitive test.
Yes.
Right? And so I don't laugh at it to like make fun of the president, because I think it's too close to home with people whom we love, and we see that happening. And as a pastor, we're ministering to people all the time who in the latter years have this problem. So the great tragedy is it's been made a mockery. And whether it be conservative TV programs, commentators, or whether it be talk show hosts who like to take the mickey out of it, I think it's really quite sad. That we, and I get quite annoyed with his handlers of people, to be honest with you, who would permit, allow, or have him or the Democrat Party, knowing that he's only going to get worse. I mean, if you look at it to when he was elected to now, he has decreased in his cognitive abilities
and energy.
And then the same way when he's with other world leaders,
it's been embarrassing.
It is embarrassing, and it's not about President Biden, because it's sickness. It's his handlers, it's his people. Do they really think that the whole? See, I put it like this: the only reason why they probably want Biden is that it looks like we don't know yet. It's a showdown, but we don't know what's going to happen in the primaries. But at this point, it looks like it's a showdown by Trump. And by Biden. My concern is, how does America get to the place where its only choice is President Trump or President Biden? Now, if I have a choice, I'm going to go with President Trump. Okay, so let me make that clear. But if I have a choice of another Republican versus President Trump, and I don't vote, how do I say? I would go probably towards the other person.
DeSantis?
I think DeSantis is a fool if he's going to run.
Yeah, against Trump, no way. He's not winning.
Yeah, he's a fool if he's going to run. I think any Republican who puts their hand up to run against Trump is a fool. And they got, even if they won the primary, they have no chance of being president. Because President Trump will run as an independent. And he has a huge ground base of at least 20 to 30% who will support him.
No matter what.
And that's what happened to George Bush Sr. against Perot. And Perot was a conservative billionaire who couldn't become president. But when George Herbert Bush, that's George W.'s father, ran against Clinton, he lost. This is for his second term, because Perot ran as independent and took a percentage. And he took a percentage of conservatives, not a huge lot. Trump would take way more. And did it. So it's like, if DeSantis has got plenty of years on him, and it just has to be like, if Trump's going to run, he's going to run. Just
let him.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? But the whole idea of the Democrats is they know they won't change those who are Trumpies. And they would know they wouldn't even change me. Because I'd pick a Trump over a Biden. But there is that swinging vote who could vote between Democrats and between Republicans. And they're appealing to the swinging vote who hate President Trump that much. That they would, even though they dislike greatly Biden his age, they would say, we prefer granddad.
Granddad.
Well, that's what it's like, granddad. I mean, I couldn't imagine calling Trump granddad.
No way.
But I mean, I don't even think I'd want to call
him dad.
President Biden granddad. Okay. But the fact of the matter is the area. So, and you can see how both sides are doing their best at digging up stuff. So you've got the Democrats behind the scenes who are doing a whole lot of trashing on Trump. And now if you're watching it all, you can see there's a huge amount being done on Hunter Biden. So you got that alimony DNA thing being done with a lady who is a stripper who has a child, and they're forcing the court thing right now on Hunter, who's disowned this child. Can you imagine the back payouts are going to be getting there? What has that got to do with the president? Well, it's his son. And then you've got these other things on tax and everything else to digging up as well. Then you've got this, what do they call it? The one who's coming out and wants protection to give information for the
What, Stormy Daniels?
no against Biden.
Oh, against Biden.
Hunter.
Oh,
They got the guy coming out and he wants protection.
oh,
But
I
anyway,
don't know.
So you got both sides doing it. I must say I am not a Labor voter. Okay, and the reason why is Labor supports abortion. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Labor supports a lot of things, sexual and other areas that I cannot support.
We're switching to Australian politics.
I'm talking
now.
about Australia.
Yeah, we just switched. Yeah.
Look, I'm going to give an example.
Yeah.
Okay. But I got to say that this Chris Menz, who's the New South Wales Labor leader who came in as premier.
Yep.
And because in the early mornings when I'm up training, I listen. I can't stand the Australian Queensland talkback radio, and I'm sure they're nice people, but they have these sort of comedy guy and two guys and a girl, and they play all these songs. I prefer just talkback.
Just talkback. Yeah, talking.
Yeah, and so it's Ben Fordham that I prefer to listen to on their thing, just in that morning part.
Yeah.
And but I listened to him interview on more than one occasion.
Yes.
Chris Menz, if his name is New South Wales Premier, and I think he was a psychologist or something.
Okay.
And even though I don't support him being Labor, he came across as one of the nicest people.
Yeah.
But so did the outgoing New South Wales Premier. He said, we're friends. That's what he said. We're friends.
Yeah.
He said the New South Wales opposition leader at that point said, I'm friends with the coalition Premier.
Yeah.
He said, we disagree on policy, so we'll debate on policy, but we're not going to attack each other.
Yeah. It's good.
Wouldn't that be the nicest thing? The nicest thing that, hey, let's deal with the issues and not take it. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if Christians could do that? That we could have a debate over guns or about end times or COVID without making it personal.
I think you're asking a bit too
I never
much
did
there,
like that,
Shaun.
Pastor Shaun. His nose is too big. Well, nobody said that. I just made that up. Do you think my nose? Okay, anyhow. But the fact of the matter is, why can't we just debate the issue? Rather than
personally attacking each other.
You know what I mean? Like, debate by all means, going or not to Starbucks. But why do you have to say, I can't believe you do that?
Yeah, now I can't. I can't affiliate.
How does it go? Like, I can't believe you would do that. Why does it have to be personal?
Personal, yeah.
You know what I mean? Why can't we just debate the issue? Without it being personal. People don't mean it to be personal, but that's the way we are. We make it personal. I failed in that area. But I'm just saying it's we've got to be bigger than that.
Bigger, better. Yeah.
And I don't know why Australia is so cool. Well, let's go a bit further. So there was the announcement this week.
Yes.
If you're conservative listening to
Fox. Yep.
There was the big announcement that
Tucker Carlson has been either released, fired, or
he's finished. On the Friday, he said, I'll see you on Monday, but during the weekend, he was let go.
He was let go, yeah.
So, in my understanding, because it's limited, that he still has 2 years of contract to be paid out.
Yes.
That'd be a big check, wouldn't it?
Yeah, huge check.
And during that time, he's not to work at another...
Yeah, non-compete.
Yeah, non-compete cause.
Yeah.
Try and have that in the church, non-compete. See how that goes. They just open the church up down the road.
Yeah.
One day they're part of, anyhow, we all go there. So
anyway, it's just wild because like when I think Fox News, the first person I think of is Tucker Carlson.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, maybe that's just my age because I'm sure you'd probably think of Hannity. Is that who you would think when you'd think Fox News? Is that the first person that comes to your head?
Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, except he got caught out because of naughty things, that area there.
Yeah.
But the story I was researching was that it's OAN.
OAN.
Yeah, it's called One American News. So I got their app. So I was listening because I haven't heard of it.
Yep.
And seemingly their head of director or whatever else has passed away. And so the story is that he's going to take over that position plus do it, but he has to wait 2 years.
Yeah, it's wait 2 years.
But my big question is who's going to take the place? Because he took the place of a lady called Megyn Kelly.
Oh,
You
that's
heard of
what
Megyn Kelly?
Yeah, I've heard of Megyn Kelly.
Yeah. So Megyn Kelly was the big one, had the big fight with Trump when he was first running.
Oh, yes, I remember. Yep.
Yeah. Trump was very, and he talked about Megyn's menstrual cycle, where he says it's that time of the month.
Yeah.
It was a real, not good.
Yeah.
But the other one you missed out on, there was another major talk show host.
It was the CNN guy, right?
Yeah, Don Lennon or something.
Yeah.
Don Lemon, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. And Do you know the reason why they got rid of him?
Saw it somewhere. It was because.
Well, this is what we understand. He made a derogative comment
Yep.
that women are in their prime in the 20s and 30s, maybe 40. But once you're over that, you're no longer purpose. Well, oh my goodness, that caused a big.
Oh my goodness.
We males, and I'm including us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, ladies. We are so many times. We including me.
Yep.
We are so insensitive,
Yeah.
brash,
Yes.
narcissistic.
Yes.
That means we think too highly of ourselves.
Yes.
Importance.
Yeah.
And we do fail.
Yes.
Misogynist.
Yes.
We all fail in these
Yes.
areas. And
But hey, we're from dirt, Sean. Remember that. Us fellas, we are made from dirt, ladies. So show us some
I
grace.
don't want to go down this path with you. So, I just apologize to the ladies. So it's always conscious in my mind.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
But there was some talk about it would be crazy if Tucker and the CNN guy, if they came together and made like this podcast. Because there are some podcasts that are really successful.
Two
where it's
opposites.
Two opposites. Like
there used to be. There was Shaun Hannity with this other guy when it first came in, and he's a Democrat. He died of cancer and everything. But they had the falling out got too big.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
where
yeah.
He and Shaun was more popular. But I mean, like, there's a guy on there called Juan.
Juan.
Yeah, and he's on the Fox area,
Yes.
and so he tried to take the Democratic role. All right?
Oh, okay.
But he got so battered and beat up that he refused to work with certain guys and went
Oh,
to.
wow.
He's still there
Yeah.
with the five, and everything, but come across it. But so I mean, and I've seen them try to put Democrats on.
Yeah.
And they just haven't lasted.
Yeah.
Well, because it is what it is.
Yes.
So the big question is, who will they get to replace?
I saw someone saying that a lady might be replacing Carlson's.
Well, it used to be originally like, why don't they get Megyn Kelly back?
yeah.
I mean, she's trash talking Fox.
Oh, so
Yeah, but-
probably not.
Yeah, but a good check will get her back.
Yeah, that's true. Money talks. Money talks. But will Fox
Pay
be,
for comment.
would they even have money? Because I've heard some talks about their stock price going down.
Yeah, but that's nothing, man. I mean, when Bill O'Reilly left, he was the number one guy, and I got to say, I felt more distressed when he left
Yes.
than when
Carlson left. Yeah.
Because Tucker hasn't been there as long.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, the famous line of Bill O'Reilly was "pinheads," you know, oh, you pinhead. Yeah, and he was traveling around doing these talk things.
Oh,
with
wow.
Shaun Hannity and others. Yeah.
Yep.
But you know, behind the scenes, he was a misogynist.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
There was some claims towards Tucker. I don't know if it's true, but
Yep.
it's always easy to look. I don't know. I mean, like, this. I'll make an assumption, and you know what an assumption is, right?
Lowest form of knowledge.
Lowest form of knowledge is that it has something to do with the payout. But you got to
Yeah.
remember that when it comes to Rupert Murdoch, it's only like 0.5% of a share for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not going to hurt him.
It's not
He's
gonna
not
hurt
gonna-
him.
Yeah,
No.
it's not going to hurt him.
Yeah. He owns so much. If you really look into what.
And of course,
what
all the
he owns.
conspiracies
Yeah.
things is like if he had fought it, he would have won or anything else there. And that was it. I mean, I don't know. I don't
Lawsuit.
know.
Is
It's
there a
just like
lawsuit
get
or
it
something?
over with, get
Yeah.
it done. I don't know. But Tucker Carlson was involved
Yes.
in that area. Shaun Hannity and that Laura. Thing. I don't know. I think there's that young fella. I forget his name. He started off as the comical sort of guy.
Yeah.
And he was Bill O'Reilly's sidekick as the comedy part. You know.
Like me, like you and me.
Yeah, yeah. And he'd
I'm
go
the
out in the
comical
streets
sidekick?
asking questions. He's pretty popular right now. So
Oh, yeah.
you might get him come in there. But
Yeah.
I would hope, well, they already had Laura Ingalls, who's a lady in the area
Yeah.
there. Sean Hannity, they're good friends, but I suppose now he might top. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, who knows,
it'll,
right?
it'll go on, you know what I mean? And there's always these other one. There's Max News. If I follow that one here, and there's this
Yep.
One America, what do you call it, news? I mean, like, there's always stories. So
Yeah.
who knows?
They'll find something.
My
to fill
life
it.
doesn't revolve around Fox.
Yeah, I'll Tucker Carlson.
In fact, I have been totally ticked off with Fox in times gone by.
Yes.
With some statements they made about Australia,
Yeah.
and I wrote into them, but they didn't answer me.
Oh.
So yeah, they'll be right.
Yeah.
But anyhow, such
Anyway.
is. I mean, I don't know why we Australians are so. See, I just find that stuff as being entertainment.
Yes, American politics is very entertaining.
Well, I'm talking about the Fox.
Fox News,
channels,
yeah.
entertainment.
Yes.
They never talk about the rest of the world.
Yeah.
At least CNN talk. Sometimes they have a world cover thing, but
But yeah, Fox is only America.
Fox is, the world revolved around us.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's
So
it.
it is a narcissistic channel,
Yes. Understatement of the year.
meaning of importance.
Yeah, yeah.
Will I watch it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Will I continue to watch it? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. But I'm looking to see what happens.
Yeah. So,
They had this Gretchen. They had this lady Gretchen on a long time ago.
oh, is that that environmentalist?
no,
lady?
no. No, you goober.
Oh.
No. She was a conservative talk show host. Way back. You know what I mean? When she left, Megyn Kelly took over from her.
Oh, okay.
And then when Megyn Kelly left, Carlson Tucker came in.
Yep.
So it goes back a while there. So
yeah.
It comes in. But such is life.
Yes.
Amen.
So we saw a movie.
We saw a movie.
Week.
What a great thing. You got a picture of
Yeah,
it there?
Jesus Revolution. We saw it all
Can
as
you
a
put
church.
that photo up?
Yeah, it's up.
Okay.
I got no idea what photo, but there's a photo up right now.
Yeah, well, let me tell you about. You want me to send it to you now?
No, I've got it. I've got the page up. Yeah.
So let me tell you there. That was like 10 minutes before the movie started because we're handing out stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
people were coming in 10 minutes after the movie started. So it even grew up a lot more.
Yeah.
And originally we were only going to do 150 cinema, and then we got given 220 something cinema.
Yeah, we got the VMAX cinema.
Yeah, so it ended up about a couple hundred people in there, 200 give or take. You know what I mean? But it was great
Yes.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
And we've done this a few times.
Yes.
Well, maybe. Have you ever been to one of these?
No, this is my first movie screening with the church.
So we did Noah. Remember that
you
one,
guys did Noah.
We did
Okay.
Noah, and we did the Passion of the Cross or Christ.
Yep.
Mel Gibson. And in America,
Yes.
I did it in the cinema in America for the church over there. My very first time I ever did it.
Yes.
Did I mention it on?
No.
Was when I was a youth pastor.
Yep.
And so I decided as an outreach, we have a very large youth group,
Yep.
that we would book the cinema. It was one of those older ones in the town, one of
Yep.
the old ones, like they're 100 years old ones. I forget the name of it for now. And it was Richard Gere playing David.
Oh, it was a David
lovely.
and Goliath movie.
Yeah, The Life of David. Richard Gere played it.
Okay.
And
all right.
so decided to do it. So I had to just make sure the scene with Bathsheba was edited. I'm serious.
Oh my goodness.
That was on the newspaper.
Yeah.
Church book cinema. Richard Gere with David. They edit the love scene with Bathsheba. I think we had like 300-400 people.
Oh wow.
It was just packed out.
Yeah.
The area.
Dang.
'Cause, I mean, like you didn't have all the things available today.
Yes.
You know,
there was no
play.
Netflix. There was no internet.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So you can sometimes you can watch it on Apple TV before it comes
It
out.
comes out in the cinema. Yeah.
The cinema.
Nowadays. Yeah.
So it comes across. But yeah, so I've done it a few times, and it was the whole idea was it just fellowship and interaction.
Yes.
And it was one of the movies come to an end, and Sandra, I was sitting about 8 rows up.
Yeah.
And Sandra says, "You better go down the front then and say goodbye to people as they go." And I go, "What? Like a church?" So I go down the front, going up there. People were hugging me and hugging. I got more hugs than I got on a Sunday, you know. So which was quite nice, but it was a good atmosphere. Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. It was a great time in fellowshipping, watching a movie. I love cinema. I got a Bachelor of Film, so I love films. But this movie was great. I think it'd be fair to say that me and Shaun really enjoyed this movie, right?
Me and Shaun.
Shaun and I greatly enjoyed the Jesus Revolution.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I first of all,
Yes.
apart from the film, I enjoyed the fellowship.
The fellowship. Yeah.
Number 2 is I love the testimony of being out there.
Yes.
I mean, Sarah. I'm gonna give a shout out to Sarah. I mean, Sarah's a champion.
Yeah.
The movie was finished. Everybody gone out.
Yeah.
And there's like 3 or 4 cleaners with ready to do it. And I look up, and Sarah, a couple of people, were picking up all the trash.
Wow.
In the cinema. And I said, Sarah, what are you doing? She says, I'm cleaning up.
Yes.
Said, this is not church.
Yeah.
I said, the cleaners are here. Yeah, but I want to be a good witness.
Yeah, that's it.
So I turned to the cleaners and I said, are we a good witness for you? Are we being good? And I wasn't being naughty. I'm just
yeah.
They go, we really appreciate it, but still don't clean it too much because it's our job. You know what I mean? But I mean, I just appreciate Sarah's heart.
Yeah.
That it wasn't about ourselves, about what sort of testimony are we leaving this cinema.
Yes.
Because they were kind enough to do it. I mean, like, the Hyperdome wanted to charge us $30-something
so
a
much
ticket,
money.
plus we had to spend so much on food.
Yeah.
And Tanya, who's the manager down there at the Browns Plains, she blessed us at $10 a head.
So good.
And so a big shout out if she listens. You know, it was really good. I didn't get to see her on the night. But the fact is, it was a great shout out.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, the cinema was pretty quiet that night.
Yeah, it was good. There wasn't a
So
lot
we
of-
just had full run.
Essentially, I had the whole cinema to ourselves.
I got into that car park
Yes.
because I wanted Friday night because it's the only night I eat.
Yeah.
It's the only night I do it.
Yeah.
And I got in that car park. As soon as I got out of the car park, I could smell what?
The popcorn?
No, in the car park?
I don't know.
Grilled. I could
Grilled.
that burger place grilled. I could smell them cooking the burgers.
Yeah.
I always think the smell is better than the actual
Taste sometimes.
So, yeah. Do you ever go like that? Yeah. Okay. I can remember riding my motorbike and I'm down at the lights here, down on Bryant's Road.
Branch Road, yep.
And I'm waiting at the lights. There's a KFC of the other side.
Yes.
And I could smell the fat of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
chicken.
yeah.
But the smell is, I got an open face mask.
Yeah.
And it's better to smell that than fuel or the emissions of a car.
Yes.
And I could smell the Kentucky. I go like, oh man, it's so nice to smell.
Yeah.
But
But then you eat it and it's like, oh, I'm going to regret this. I'm going to regret this later too when I go to the toilet.
Let's not get it. Okay. But the fact of the matter is that when I got out, I could smell that area. So,
Yes.
It comes there. But it was quite nice. I enjoyed it.
Yes. What was the scene that really touched you in the movie, Shaun? What's something that like?
Well, it's going to be controversial.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, controversial.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So the scene that really touched me,
Yes.
it's going to be controversial,
Oh, okay. All right.
was where Lonnie
Yes.
began to move in the spiritual gifts.
Ah, yes, in the tent.
Prophecy,
In the tent?
healing.
Yes.
And Chuck reacted.
Mm.
Because in real life, what happened,
Mhm.
because Chuck Smith,
Yes.
okay, he says he's non-denominational, but every church is
Yeah,
denominational.
they kind of if they're non-denominal, it's mostly
They still got
Baptist,
their
right?
own.
Yeah.
They did Calvary Chapel. What?
Yeah.
How many churches? A couple hundred? So it's a denomination.
Yeah.
But he doesn't practice or believe in the gifts of the spirit of tongues.
Yeah.
Right. And for me, I found it interesting how this film captured this particular moment where there was a shift.
Yeah. Mm.
And it went from just it's the teaching the word that gets people saved, not the gifts. But
Yes.
he started moving the spirit.
Yes.
And it created this, so you could see it. Because eventually what happened is that when Lonnie left Chuck, he got involved with a group called The Vineyard,
Yes.
John Wimber.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll put that photo up of
Yep.
John Wimber. I got it up there.
Mhm.
And I got that picture of Lonnie there of Chuck Pierce.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
under the tree. And then I got John Wimber underneath. So John Wimber with The Vineyard.
Yep.
So Lonnie was credited with I don't know if I can use the word success, if that's the wrong word in this area.
The increase, maybe
Lonnie was credited with the birth of the Calvary Church movement.
Yes.
But it was also Lonnie who was credited with the birth of Vineyard.
Mm.
They could track the date and the time
Oh wow.
when he came and he shared. And in fact, I have a direct quote on the area, if I can just find it.
Mhm.
Here. It was in May 1977.
Yes.
This is by John Wimber. Where he said it was the point. No, hang on, I got it wrong. That's when they started.
Yep.
But Wimber held that it wasn't until May 1979. So it started May 1979 when Lonnie Frisbee gave his testimony during an evening service.
Mhm.
Because John Wimber used to be a Calvary Chapel pastor.
Yep.
And had a church, but he pulled it out of Calvary Chapel.
Yes.
This is the problem there. And it was the Yaba Linda branch, okay? And later it was the Anaheim Vineyard Christian Fellowship. But it was at that place where Lonnie began moving in the gifts that he's the birth of it. And if you knew John Wimber, he's passed away now.
Yes.
How do I say it politely? He was one of those groups.
Stuck in the mud.
No.
Oh.
No. That certainly moved the gifts, but sometimes could go a little too far.
Too far.
Right.
Oh.
Like we have people like that.
Oh, who like do flags and
Well, no.
dancing.
No. Let's not go down that path.
All right, I won't bring up.
I'm talking
examples.
about where they're moving the gifts of the Spirit, but they can almost become what's all gifts and no word or more. But and so that's what happened. So he certainly moved in an area which was quite interesting.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It was moving. You know,
Yes.
people followed him.
Yeah.
Like the Greg Laurie, you know what I mean? I forget the name of his church, and he's still ministering now. And great testimonies, marriage of 50 years.
Yeah, well.
So he's also the Calvary Chapel mindset, not in the gifts of the Spirit.
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
there. But he's a credible evangelist, pastor, and everything. So it is. So we'd call Chuck probably a fundamentalist.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the word is the word. We believe that, but the cessation of the tongues, you finish with the word.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
whereas I'm a Pentecostal charismatic,
Yes.
to some I'm not Pentecostal charismatic enough. Okay, and to others I'm too
You're too
Pentecostal charismatic, but for balance. There's some others who I believe give us Pentecostal a bad name.
Yep.
Because they don't understand the area of let's have order.
Yes. Yes.
In fact, if you try to bring order, they get offended by it.
Yeah. Oh, well.
So for me, my most powerful point was that where you saw him shift, where all of a sudden he stops speaking and he gets this word of knowledge. It's almost like he doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he gives the word of knowledge, respond, and then he's praying and there's healings and things happening.
Yeah.
And you could see, the actor playing Chuck there, he's a bit, unsettled with it. Because just to bring clarity, this was just Wednesday night meetings. So Chuck didn't give him Sunday services.
Yes.
This was like the Wednesday night meeting.
Yeah, midweek.
Yeah, they didn't do that area there.
Yeah.
And the crowds were just phenomenal. There's no spare seats.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to give credit to Chuck for maintaining it, keeping it growing.
Yes.
And this is what you got to remember. This is what we as Pentecostals have got to remember too. That even though we might disagree with the fundamentalist ideas, they stayed the test of time.
Yes. Yes.
Whereas we Pentecostals who go on that verge, we don't always stay the test of time.
Yeah.
And I've often asked, why is it that you can get the fundamentalist mainline, they stay the test of time and we don't?
Yeah.
And I think it has to do that we're more in touch with our feelings than the fundamentalists. The fundamentalists say, well, this is the word, so I'm here because of the word.
Yeah. Yes.
We charismatics are like, well, yeah, we got the word, but we believe even more so in the manifestation of the Spirit. But the problem is that we let go of our anchor.
Yes.
Which is the word.
It's
the
the
word
word,
is our anchor that holds us in place, and we let go of the anchor, or we cut the anchor.
Yeah.
And then we get more carried away. Like John Wimber broke away from certain parts of vineyard areas because, and he, in his words, it was because there's just so many prophecies that just didn't come true.
Yeah.
And in fact, I can identify with that.
Yeah.
In areas, yeah. Like over 30 years here at the church,
Yes.
I've had visiting ministries, people, and I've written down some of the prophecies. Some of the friends, they give these wild-like prophecies.
Yes.
I've written them down. None of them came about. But then they might say, well, that's up to you. I did the word. Well, that's like there was this pretty famous lady. I don't want to mention her name.
Yes.
In American preaching over some years back.
Yep.
Maybe 15 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. And doing this conference, and they recognize themselves and their group as apostles of America, rather than being apostolic ministry, the apostles. Anyhow. And there were some leading Australian preachers in the area. I chose not to go.
Oh.
And so anyhow, this American sister, not as well recognized now as she was then, but very big name, huge name. Bigger than Joyce Meyer's name.
Oh, wow.
At that time, in the Pentecostal gathering.
Whoa.
And so she gave this word from the platform. It was here in the Brisbane area.
Yeah.
And she said, you have generational curse because of the slave trade, because of the convict ships and all this sort of stuff here. You've come from the convicts, in the area here, generational thing.
Yeah.
And if you don't repent, there's going to be a mass shooting like the Columbine one. This is during the Columbine time.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
If you do repent, it won't happen. Well, I mean, you got bets both ways, like if it doesn't happen, it's because you prayed. If it does happen, it's because you didn't pray. So the prophet says you need to repent. So they called upon one of the leading church representatives here, and they got up and said, with respect, and I'm going to paraphrase, because you Americans keep throwing this back in our face. Well, how many times do you have to say we've dealt with it, repent of it? I mean, how many times we've got to do it?
Oh, my goodness.
But it just seems it's our history and our past.
Yeah.
Even the cross was up. So, I mean, it is a major thing. See, many times we try to take, you got to remember that in the Old Testament, God was birthing a nation.
Yes. Yes.
So there are scriptures towards the nation.
Yeah.
If my people who call by my name shall repent.
Mhm.
But God's not calling a single nation today.
Yes.
So to try and take a scripture like that in 2 Chronicles to today
Mhm.
for a nation is not actually applicable, okay, in context.
Yep.
Because God's not calling a single nation as he did then, which is Israel, as the light,
Mhm.
but rather he sent us Jesus
Yeah.
as the light.
Yeah.
So Israel was meant to be the light and the witness.
Yes.
For us, it's Jesus who's the light and the witness.
Yeah.
And that's always the issue. So sometimes we've got to be careful because we try to pull Old Testament texts and scripture, which was written in context to Israel as a nation.
Yeah.
And it's not today.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes nations try to claim that they won't say it, but as if they're the new Israel or the new whatever else.
Yeah.
And we are not. So today there's people. So the Old Testament was about go forth and multiply.
Yes.
Which is physical.
Yes.
In the New Testament, it's spiritual by making disciples. But
Yep.
there are still those Christians whom I know who said, you've got to have more kids. So they're still taking these areas. And so
Yep.
there's always that area. And this is where the fundamentalists, if I'm going to use the word regrettably, I don't mean in a bad way, pick up about teachings and theology and understanding.
Yep.
But they don't take the spirit.
Yes.
Whereas we Pentecostal charismatics take the spirit, but we don't understand the fundamental truths of interpreting or understanding theology and scriptures.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So I shared on Sunday, for example, about how I've been challenged about going into Starbucks.
Oh, Starbucks. Yeah.
Right. So I'll show you this book I was reading. So the particular book here, I don't know if you can see it too well, but it's called When God Goes to Starbucks. Now, this is not a story about Starbucks, so don't go out there and buy this. Go, oh yeah, I want to read about what God goes to Starbucks. It's not a story about Starbucks. This is a theology.
Theology book. Yeah.
Okay, and it's a guide to what we call everyday apologetics, and apologetics stands for defense of our faith.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some well-meaning Christians going to say, I'm going to hold that book thinking but you're going to be disappointed because it's theology.
Yeah.
So if you're not inclined towards theology discussion, you're going to go like, oh my goodness. So it's not a book about Starbucks, but it's making a general statement because this book was written, 2008, when it was a strong thing like anti-Starbucks because of the owner and the wrong things he says.
Yes.
But then this guy says, but what happens if God turns up? What happens when God turns up? And that's meant to mean in any area.
Yeah.
You know, what happens when God turns up at the gay bar?
Yeah.
What happens when God turns up in the prison?
Yes.
What happens when God turns up with your relatives you can't stand?
Yeah.
And what that means is we carry the presence of God.
Yes.
So in other words, what would happen rather than us saying, I'll have nothing to do with you, if we are the vessel by which the presence of Jesus comes in? You get my point?
Yeah.
And I think this is something that we miss as charismatics.
Yes.
I'm not saying there aren't wrong things happening at Starbucks and anything else, but I'm saying, like, what about if we took the initiative that we can usher in God's presence?
Yeah, we can go there with God. Yeah.
Like, I go in there, I talk politely, not in Australia, but I'm in America.
Yeah.
I share about the Lord to the people there. I say, God loves you. And
Yes.
oh, yeah, I'm a pastor, I'm a Christian. And I've done it many times.
Yeah.
Give a little tip, share there.
Yeah.
I've never been abused. I'm sure there are people who have been because you're going to get bad people everywhere. But I prefer to say, what happens when God goes to Starbucks?
Yeah.
Rather than say, I'm going to be a little bit blunt here, stuff you, Starbucks. Sorry, a little bit rough there, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a tragic story about Lonnie.
Yes.
Is that I go back again about the spiritual gifts as it happened.
Yeah.
Is that he fell into homosexuality.
Yeah.
And in the 80s, he totally backslid for a while.
Yes.
And it was a real difficult time. Then he was back involved with Vineyard. In fact, it was Chuck Smith's son, Junior, who, in having coffee or fellowship with John Wimber, because they're still friends, said, how do you handle the idea that, and I go back to the area, just directly reading it, okay, And this was an article that was in the Orange County Weekly, okay, which was headlined the first Jesus freak. It's not meant to be derogative, but meaning passionate.
Yeah.
And it says that Chuck Smith Jr. got a photo there of Chuck Smith Jr. with his dad.
Yep.
Okay. So he was having lunch with John Wimber one day when he asked how the pastor reconciled working with a known homosexual like Frisbee. See, amongst all the church leadership, they knew he was doing homosexual. Now, the congregation might not.
Yep.
But what happens with us charismatics, this is always the problem. This is what I'm talking about. We will ignore the lack of character or the fruit for the gift.
For the gifts, yeah.
I see it all the time. Pastors here, when they're older, they've had multiple 10, 15 sexual out-of-marriage relationships.
Yeah.
And still people go like, oh, yeah, but they got the gift of healing.
Yeah.
Well, of course they do. Romans 11 says the gifts of God are about repentance. You can function in your gift and not be honoring God. But Bible doesn't say you'll know them by their gifts. This is by their fruit.
Yep.
But because we're Pentecostals, we're so fixated on the gifts.
Yeah.
And this is what gets us into trouble. And so what happened was the leadership was kind of ignoring what was happening. On the Saturday night, out he's partying and doing stuff. In fact, he was involved with a young man in a 6-month homosexual relationship.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Right? So John Wimber asked the younger Chuck Smith Jr. how he knew about this area, and Smith told him that he received a call from a pastor who just heard a young man confess to having been in a 6-month relationship with Frisbee.
Yeah.
So that's learning. So Wimber called Smith the next day to say he'd confronted Frisbee, who openly admitted to the affair and agreed to leave.
Yeah.
One thing was about Frisbee, he was always in that place where he knew to leave. In that film, The Part of Chuck Smith, and when he came from San Francisco, there was more trouble. So this is a common thing. He went to Florida.
Yep.
And he left there, back color. So that's what happened. But this is the tragedy of this. By Frisbee's own account, Frisbee says he was raped by a man who had attended one of his revival meetings 6 years prior. Lonnie states, in his own words, that over the next few weeks, this man began to spread it around that he'd had a sexual relationship with Lonnie Frisbee. Okay? He told people, including church leaders, that he'd had sex with him. Lonnie said, I was violently forced at knife point, totally against my will. And his lies caused me years of not being able to minister as this accusation spread throughout the Christian community. He next described some of the fallout. He says, I gave in to drugs.
Yeah.
This is in the mid-'80s.
Yeah.
And sexual temptation. I'd become deceived and overpowered. I'd been constantly accused of things, mostly of which I didn't do. Didn't say all wasn't true, but mostly. Yeah. So why not live up to reputation? See, here's that problem again. So he's like, well, if I'm accused of sexual, if I'm accused of this, I might as well just do it. I'm accused. See that again, what happens? And to me, that's a, not just a man, but that's a reflection again about how many Christians are. Well, they said I'm a bad person, so I might as well just be a bad person.
Yeah, live up to the name.
I'll just live up. Yeah, but see, we're meant to live up to Christ.
Yeah,
and the Bible always tells us that we'll be attacked, we'll be accused, there'll be false things said, but we don't give in, because when we give in, it's not saying we'll give up, but we're letting go of Jesus. We're letting go of the hope, and this is a great truth for teaching. You know what I mean? And Lonnie says that this was his subconscious justification for crossing the lines. He says, this is how I could go back into drugs. This is how I go into homosexuality, because these things were said, and most of them were not true. So he said, I blamed everybody else. I blamed the church. But Frisbee said he never characterized himself as homosexual, okay? But rather he was certainly involved, and he died because of AIDS. Which was terrible in 1993. He's only 40-something. Yes. And his funeral was at the Crystal Cathedral. And I would ask you, have you been there? But I know you haven't. But in my day, when they built that Crystal Cathedral, it was Bob Schuller. Yep. He was Dutch Reformed, but he was so unique. Yes. His teaching. Crystal Cathedral is enormous. But again, through bad management, finances, and everything else, it got bought up by the Roman Catholic Vietnamese church. It's now Roman Catholic Vietnamese. But they have these gardens there. Yes. Those beautiful gardens with these bronze statues of Jesus carrying the sheep and Jesus with bronze. It's beautiful. I wish I could take you over there to have a look.
Yeah.
But I think you'll be in Thailand before you come there with me.
Yeah.
Okay. But they did his funeral there, and they, I got a picture there, a picture of his memorial plaque there.
Yes.
And he was divorced from his wife, Connie, in 1973.
Yep.
She's still alive.
Yep.
In fact, she said she's disappointed. He said the film was probably 90% true, but they never once asked for her opinion or connection.
Oh. Oh, wow.
It would have been nice to have heard from there, but
Yep.
but that's what happens, right?
Yes.
But anyhow, the issue is that I know that it was Chuck Smith, as he spoke at the funeral.
Yep.
He used the analogy that Lonnie was Samson.
Yeah.
That he was a giant or a superstar in feats, not feats physically, but because he's only a small man, not tall like an air, but in the context of his faith and area. I mean, I got pictures here put up there, pictures of what he looks like. I got pictures of the house church meetings,
Yes.
pictures. I'll give you the pictures of the water baptisms.
Oh, yeah.
It's a move of God. That's the problem with a move of God, is that the move of God doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
And if you don't lay a good foundation, we've had moves of God. I want to see a move of God back in again. If you have moves of God, you got to learn to build on an area. Remember, they're a wave.
Wave, yeah.
And if you had beach before the wave, you'll have beach after the wave. But it's the people who try to manipulate it or do it that cause us the problem. But
Yes.
it's a great story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love it intensely.
Yeah, it was great. There was one little thing I noticed happening in the background set. There was like little environmental storytelling happening in the background in the chapel. How when it first showed the chapel, it had the hymn numbers in the background. Then every week, once Liney started coming there, hymn numbers started disappearing, and it was
Oh, is
just
that
like,
right?
It was just like welcome home. I think eventually.
Good
it
for
appeared
you.
there.
I didn't pick it up because that's the mainline church. Because I saw the hymn thing, but didn't go.
Yeah.
They had Love Song.
Yeah.
That was the band, and that's Chuck Girard.
Oh.
And there's a great book on Chuck Girard's life. I think I got a couple still here in the church.
Yep.
On his life. And that Laurie's just written a new book as well. There's a book I have here, Jesus Revolution, Greg Laurie and Ellen Vaughan.
Oh wow.
Jesus Revolution, Greg Laurie and Ellen Vaughan. Greg Laurie was a young guy
Yes.
growing up there who came through it.
So, Shaun, would you recommend the Jesus Revolution?
Of course I would.
Yeah.
Of course I would. And I'm not sharing these stories to make people now feel negative or anything else, but you got to understand that you can't maintain the intensity of that move.
Yes. Yes.
So this particular move there with Lonnie, there was 4 years.
Yeah.
You can't maintain that intensity.
Yes.
And normally when you're in the move of God, you don't always realize you are in it.
You're in it, yeah.
enjoying it.
Yeah.
But it's afterwards you realize that was a move of God because they don't have it quite as much. Because you
Yeah.
saw their closing bits where at Pirates Cove, it's just a couple of people
Yes.
looking to be baptized
Yeah.
versus the crowd.
Yes.
And our temptation is trying to remake it.
Yeah.
I see people who mean well, but they're trying to look like Catherine Kuhlman or they're trying to look at somebody else in their programs. And, try and be like Jesus. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the things I liked about Lonnie just said, man, someone said to him, are you trying to look like Jesus? And he goes, well, if I'm going to look like somebody, I should look like him
Yeah.
because he's the greatest. So, he didn't hold back in the area,
Yeah.
but he certainly blended in.
Yeah.
Here. I can remember in the move of God that I saw back here.
Yes.
And for the life of me, I can't remember the guy's name, but we had a guy like that turn up.
Oh, so he just looked like.
In the context, he had that combi van, he's living in. He came to New South Wales, long hair, the whole thing. The rubber, he just knew, and he came in, he was an evangelist, and I went out evangelizing with him and some others, because in those days, street evangelism was the big thing, and I ended up being in charge of street evangelism. There's a guy called Rod Shepherd.
Yes.
I've never had contact with him for donkey's years.
Yep.
But Rod Shepherd was several years older than me. He was a hero to me.
Yeah.
And it was street evangelism, going street.
Yeah.
And he took me out when I was 15.
Oh wow.
And to show me how to do street evangelism and to share. And he just so inspired me. And he was an unsung hero of that time. And then this other guy who was like this surf guy, what else, the hippie come in there, he brought them all in, these other people. Not Rod, but this other guy. But then that guy disappeared, just like overnight.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And then Rod, to me, still is, I wish I could have contact with Rod. I'd just tell him, I'd love to tell him how much he has meant to me and how much he'd blessed me. But I don't even know if he's walking with the Lord today. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not. Maybe someone's listening and you could reach out to him. But Rod was a great, not Rod Clement, but Rod Shepherd. We're all under Rod Clement. He blessed me immensely.
Yes.
Absolute champion. But, when I went on staff in 1981, he left the church and sort of faded away. So he was in that 70s. He was a great champion. I even worked with him for 6 months doing house painting.
Oh, wow.
he would take me into the high schools, teaching, sharing religious education. He challenged me to give 1 day a week to the church to serve. And so I'd give 1 day a week to do it. He taught me that area. So, he did a lot for me. He came from Mount Gravatt.
Wow.
Tough areas. He was a tough guy, street guy in the areas, Mount Gravatt. Because all of Mount Gravatt used to be all housing commission back then.
Oh, wow.
You probably don't realize it back then. Just wonderful guy. So I saw some of these things, you know what I mean? So saw many things that really touched me.
Yes.
And today, I'm 60. I look back and, I mean, you sort of my hair and all that sort of stuff there. So today I just wish I had hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is that I was greatly touched.
Yeah. Yeah.
But these are waves.
Waves, yes.
These are waves.
Yes.
And one of the biggest problem that happens in the waves is that personalities become bigger than the move of God. It happens to all of us. Sure, me and all of us. Our self-importance, etc., becomes bigger than that move. And then we, like a wave, the spirit begins to withdraw. And we try to create our own wave pools, man-made pools, but we can't do it.
Yeah.
And then we spend the next decade saying, do it again, do it again.
Yeah.
I pray all the time, God, do it again.
Yes.
The experiences I had as a young man have so affected me that as an older man, I'm still here because of it. But my prayer all the time is do it again. And I've seen moves.
Yes.
I saw the moves in that 70s, 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
I saw the move when I became the youth pastor, supernatural. I saw the move when we started this church, supernatural.
Yes.
So I've seen at least what I'd call 3 moves.
Yep.
I mean, the other 2 weren't as big as the overall area, but I'm still a part of it.
Yes.
And I want to see it again.
Yeah. Do it again.
But now, we see, church leadership being mocked.
Yes.
Church leadership being narcissistic. We see, I'm talking about certain persons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We see sexual immorality of leadership. We see mismanagement of finances, accountability, lack of trust. We see indulgences.
Yes.
I'm talking about church leadership.
Yeah.
We're not ignorant to it. And, but, we got to get back to grassroots.
Yes.
But you don't give up on the church.
Yeah.
You don't give up on the areas. You
Yes.
keep focused and press through.
Yes.
But no, I strongly recommend this film like I would others.
Yes. Yes. Me too. I think it might still be in cinemas here in Australia. It might be in cinemas.
Very limited.
Very limited. I think it's available on streaming services.
Yeah. But I'd say the film's done financially very well. It was a very minimal budget.
Its budget was only like 15 million and it's made over 52 million.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I was reading
it was that much, 15 million.
That's how much it cost to make.
It's a lot of money anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, that's still heaps
for
of
a
money.
Christian
for
film.
a Christian movie.
Yeah.
That's still heaps of money, but yeah, they made bank with over the gross profit. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, like, obviously it's the Christians who have got to go.
I'm going to say it, yeah.
But it also goes to show there is a market.
There's a market for it, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that sort of stuff.
Yes.
Let's not do the, ones about the earth being destroyed and Armageddon. Not those movies.
Yeah, we don't need like end time stuff.
This is a good film.
Yeah.
And you do get the odd good film. I mean, the Noah's one was a bit crazy, Russell Crowe, but we still saw it.
Yeah.
The Passion of the Christ was phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know people have tried, like another guy, I forget his name, tried to do the one on Esther.
Okay.
I think we might have booked a film for Esther as well. It was okay. I know the guy who did it. I was talking to him.
Yeah, yeah.
But this movie was just great.
Yeah, it was good. It was awesome. Go check it out if you can.
You can. So it's been great being here with you today.
Yes. Church is happening Sunday?
Church is happening Sunday.
It is.
So what is the schedule for Sunday?
I believe it is Pastor Shaun speaking at the 8 a.m. and 9:30 service.
Yep.
And I've been informed that Pastor Josiah is preaching in the evening.
Wow. Yeah. So my message is called Handing on the Torch.
Oh. Ooh.
The baton.
The baton.
Handing on the torch.
Oh.
And this is the final message in the series. I know it's like, when will he ever stop talking about David?
What are you at, part 30 or something?
Yeah. I mean, I forget what number it is.
Yeah,
but the issue is that, David might be there, but there's so many things. It's about passing on the torch. And to me, it's powerful because it's about me passing on the torch.
Yes.
I said at 68, I passed the leadership or the, what do you call it? The
senior pastoral role here.
Or they call it campus pastor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here to Josiah when I'm 68.
Yep.
And I'll still remain chairman of the board.
Yep.
Okay, for another 5 years, and I'll be doing the 8 o'clock service.
Yes.
And by then we have a building.
Yes.
And then he'll be doing those 2 services there.
Yep.
And someone says, "What, you think it'd be too old?" No. There's other opportunities for me, but here's the issue: is that I think that one of the greatest gifts I can give this church that we've birthed here is a future.
Yes.
And it needs to happen while I'm living.
Yeah.
That I'm healthy enough and strong enough to support Josiah behind the scenes as he takes that role.
Yes.
And secondly, I assure the church that the day God calls me home, it's not like, well, what do we do?
Yeah, we're not panicking.
Josiah's been working in that area he's already been in the area for a couple of years, since 2020.
Yes.
This is his 3rd year.
Yeah.
And you can't deny that Josiah's development maturity is outstanding.
Yes.
And the fact is, I want to make sure that Josiah's taking over as a healthy time, not when I want all my functions still working, so I can just keep doing other things. So, So to me, it's a gift I want to give the church.
Yes.
Security.
Yeah.
I've seen pastors give it to the son, and then 1 minute they're gone, and the son, God bless him, means well, but they don't know how to handle it. They've been behind the scenes, but I'm giving him more and more, then I'll still be in that area. So I think that's a great gift to give the church. So my message is called Handing on the Torch.
Yes.
And to me, which is great, and Josiah's at night. And I'm hoping some friends, Peter and Sue Liskus, they were with us for years, so they live in Jersey, I think it is, in England, Ireland. So I think they're coming over. So they come in the morning, that'll be great. So so I look forward to seeing them. Amen, which is great.
Yes.
And which is wonderful. Also, we have our Mother's Day market coming up in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Which is going to be great. We have a lot of giveaways. A 65-inch TV, I think you said there. And why is it that we still call TVs by inch?
Yeah, I don't know either, Shaun. We don't even use that measurement.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
So how many centimeters, or what do we call it, is a 65
like 120 centimeters, I think, or 130 maybe. I don't know. I don't measure TVs in centimeters.
You have to look it up. So, but anyhow, so that's going to be a real positive thing anyhow. So
yes.
I look forward to them.
Yes.
And, I've been excited what God's doing in the church.
Yes.
And step by step, and, it's really good. I enjoyed Josiah's message last Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We needed the help in there, and doing the special thing there for Anzac Day was good.
Yes.
And it's all good. So I'm excited.
Yes.
I enjoy church.
Me too. And if to anyone still listening right to the end, you get to see an exclusive photos of what's been done on the new TaD Dunamis set. You're seeing it on the screen right now.
Oh.
Shaun hasn't even seen it while we're recording.
I am now.
He is now. Whoa.
Yeah. And I was over there when Shane did some of that wall stuff.
Yes.
So, Ed, when will we be in that new studio?
Look. There has been some snags, challenges, but we are overcoming these challenges. Amen.
A month?
Well, I'm praying less than a month. I'm praying like in 2 weeks. That's what I'm hoping for.
Why don't we just not put a date on it and say we are moving towards this time?
Well, I have all the liquid nail I need to put the foam on the wall.
Okay. Maybe there's volunteers out there might want to help you.
Yeah.
They come up with liquid nails stuck on their fingers.
Yeah, my fingers stuck together.
Oh, well, that's good. Moving along.
Yes.
There's always construction things happening.
Yes.
So we look forward to church.
Yes.
Well, we love you guys, and we speak God's blessings over you, and thank you for joining us, and we always value your comments.
Yes. Let us know what you think.
Let me know what you think.
Smash the like button.
Ask a question, we'll answer it for you.
Yes.
God bless you. Pass it on to others. Get them involved.
Yeah, see ya.
God bless you. Thank you for joining us.
Here we are today.